It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You are knowing what you are wanting? Desire is a good thing, isn't it? Desire that you believe, nothing feels better than that. That anticipation of more and more wonderful things coming to you. It's really what you are about. It's why this time and space looked so appealing to you, because you knew you would come into this environment of variety, which would give you an opportunity to come to your own personal and very important conclusions about what you prefer. And you understood before your emergence into this body that once you decide, a powerful word, once you make a decision about something, think about the power of a decision. Once you decide, not once you ponder, not once you speculate, not once you wonder, not once you weigh the pros and the cons and the pluses and the minuses, but once you decide, once you come into alignment with your idea of desire, so then there's no resistance within you, then all things move in cooperation with your decision. In your indecisiveness, in your I want it but, I really, really want this but, then there is a split or a resistance, self-imposed, that just slows everything down, dilutes the power of it. And that indecision is what then brings about frustration because of the slowness of the response. When you have decided, then you are powerful. But it takes a little while to become decided, doesn't it? You have to sort of collect some data. Sometimes, oh, you're doing so well. Sometimes you'll be all tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and you'll be going with the flow, and we mean that literally. You're going with the flow, and you feel very decisive about something. You see something that you want, and you know, that's it right there. Yes, you're decisive. But sometimes as humans who have been trained to not believe in yourselves, you think, oh, but it shouldn't be that easy. I shouldn't be led to the perfect thing right here and now. Surely there must be more pain to experience in the earning of the perfect whatever it is. And so sometimes, even though you were led right to it, because the source within you knew right where it was, and you were tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and so you went to right where it was, and when you saw it you knew it, but then you second guessed yourself because it was not nearly painful enough coming to the conclusion. And we want you to begin to realize that it's not supposed to be painful, that there is a process of you coming to those decisions. There is a process by which you sift and sort and come to your decisions. You know when you don't prefer something, and you know when you do prefer something. You know, you do. But sometimes along your unfolding of your path, others have convinced you that you just think you know, but you don't really know, and that they are really the ones who know, and so you should listen to them because they know. And often they will accuse you and us. They accuse us of teaching you selfishness. We say, we do. Yes, we do. We do. Chapter 1, selfishness. Because if you are not selfish enough to identify your own preference, then you cannot connect to the power that is really you. Because in not deciding what's best for you, then you water it all down with what's best for this and best for this. And we're not saying that it cannot be best for you and others too. We are saying that what is best for you, which is alignment, is what's best for everyone who has anything to do with you. Because when you are in alignment with the source within you, you have plenty to give. Oh, then you're flowing, you're dynamic, you're fun. But if you're not selfish enough to get tuned into that, then you're not so much fun. And then that's when we love you so much. That's when you get demanding. That's when you start demanding the respect that you want. So this process of coming to your decisiveness, this process of what we are calling the process of deliberate creation, because it's no fun just to stumble into it. You think you might like that, but you really don't. When you stumble into wonderful things, you don't feel nearly as emphatically joyful about them as when you plan for them and you watch them evolve, and you're there to witness the unfolding of them so that you have complete ownership in what happened. That's the way deliberate creating feels best, isn't it? But you came knowing that there would be plenty of variety for you to sift and sort through, and that from that process you would know what you don't want and you would know what you do want, and you knew that in that process you would naturally come to continual asking of your preference. I would like that, I would like that, I would like that. Even if you are not using words, if someone is rude to you, you know you would prefer them to be nicer. And if you're rude to someone, you know you would prefer that you be nicer. You can feel at all levels of your being whether you are in harmony with who you really are, or whether you have diverged from it because of your reaction to something that's going on in your environment. And the most delicious life to be lived by you or anyone is the life that you live on purpose, not the life where you are reacting to things. Because when you're reacting, you're out of control. But when you're deciding, when you are deliberate, oh, then things line up for you, and you have that knowing of every part that you played in every part of the unfolding of it. So then when the manifestation of it is realized by you, how sweet that manifestation is, because you recognize the components of it that you have accomplished. So sifting and sorting, knowing what you do want, knowing what you don't want, causes you to accomplish without even knowing there was a step one. Because asking is step one, asking for something. And the more sifting and sorting you do, the more knowing what you don't want and knowing what you do want that happens, then the more decisive you are, yes, about what you want. And so asking is so important. Step one. Step two is not your work. Step two is where the laws of the universe, law of attraction, and your inner being and infinite intelligence, what you want to call source, all of these components answer what you're asking in the moment that you ask for it. Now we know that's hard for you to accept, but it is the way that it is. In the moment that a decision happens within you, everything from non-physical perspective lines up to complement, to enhance, to add power to pave the way for what you have asked for. When you begin to witness it without a knowledge of the way the laws of the universe work, you would call it magic, because it doesn't happen to everyone. It doesn't even happen to you every time. But when it happens, you recognize the power of it, that answering of what you've asked for. But the only time that you recognize the power of the answering, which is step two, is when you are in the moment accomplishing what we have been calling and will forevermore call step three, the art of allowing, being in vibrational alignment with your own request. Now that sounds simple enough, and yet you hardly ever do it. You say, I really want that, but, and then you get real about it. But it's hard to find, or it's long in coming, or I've wanted a long time, or hardly anybody ever has it, or. But step three, when you accomplish it, means you are in absolute vibrational alignment with your request from step one. Then step four is just getting really good at step three. That sounds like a funny step, doesn't it? You should just call it step three. Step three, get step three done. But step three is a step that you step in and out of. Sometimes you're in alignment, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you feel really good, sometimes not so. Sometimes you're absolutely sure of something, sometimes not. And you know what the difference between step three and step four really is? It's consistency. But you know what else it really is? Do you know why it really is? It's because of the momentum. Because when you're in step 3 and you're able to stay there long enough, which means you're believing what you're asking for, you're not doubting it, you're not killing it with your doubt, you believe it, and so it's infusing you with a feeling of energy. When you are in step 3 and you've practiced the positive thought of the positive expectation of the positive outcome that you are reaching for, momentum happens. Law of attraction is at the heart of all of this. When you give your attention to something just for a moment, it's not very powerful. If you focus on something for less than 16 seconds, we used to say 17, when you focus upon something for less than 16 seconds, things are moving right along, aren't they? When you focus upon something for less than 16 seconds, you don't really engage in any powerful way. Law of attraction doesn't really kick in until 16 seconds. And when it does, then another thought like it comes and momentum has begun. Once momentum gets underway and you get out there a little way, over a minute of focusing upon what you are wanting, then what happens, there's enough momentum that you step from step 3 into step 4. That's all it takes to get from step 3 to step 4 is a little over a minute of focusing without killing your thought with your doubt. Can you do that? No. You got to practice it. You can do it, but you usually don't, because there's usually someone there who you're talking with who has a very objective and practical approach to why you can't get what you want. You know who they are. Leave them home. You know what it's like to be high and feeling good about something, and then to be, oh, we love you so much, stupid. And to say it out loud to somebody who's not ready. In other words, if you talk about what you want to someone who's not ready for you to have what you want, they're going to throw cold water all over it. They don't mean to. They love you, mostly. They do. They love you. They mean well for you, pretty much. But they are not important to your making that step from 3 to 4. They are not important to that. Only your focus is. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would make the step from 3 to 4. In other words, we'd just get really, really good at step 3 without talking to other people about it. Because when you talk to other people about it, you clutter your environment with their problems, with their doubts, with their disbelief, with their attraction of things that you don't want, with their peanut gallery assessment of why you should be cautious about this thing that you've decided you want. So we're saying to you that these steps are private steps. Life shows you what you want, and Source lines up with you right away, and there's no fanfare with Source. Source doesn't send out an email announcement. Source doesn't try to get you on the evening news with it, and it's fortunate for you. Because when you hold your intentions to yourself, they can be more powerful. And that's something that most humans do not understand. You think that there's power in numbers. No. The power is not in the numbers. The power is in the alignment, you see. And usually in the numbers, there's fracture. Ringing any bells?